An update on the MCI 9. Which the wife brought to my attention that I yawn when I'm doing the voice overlays on all the other videos. Sorry about that. Might be the music, not for sure. Very relaxing. Well, that's real good on the tools. We had a huge rainstorm that just came through. You got some of the flooring I've pulled out here. This had a huge tank that was like a second part of the bathroom. I don't know why they had an addition. It's a big old tank. But I've got that removed. The actual OEM tank is still in there. It's stuck. That's fine, I suppose, but I'm ready to get that out. I was checking out some of the rust. I don't know what's rusted here. It doesn't look like it's this. I guess it's the subframe that's underneath here. The shutter stats don't move at all from what I can tell. I've given them very little, or have looked at them very little. One thing I noticed that needs to be done is this seal needs replaced around the blowers. I heard that's a real common thing to have that where it's all jacked up. And I guess they suck air around the door instead of through the radiators like they're supposed to. You know, some of this stuff is just a little piddly stuff that I've been noticing. I knew that this was rusted out up here above the blowers. The unit that the blowers are on look fine. It's just that. And that's actually from the roof cap leaking. I'll show you more of that when we get inside. But I've got to get that sealed off. The insulation on the inside had a bunch of soot that could come in, and I don't want that stuff in there, you know, while we're driving. I've got the engine fairly cleaned up. I will be converting this bad boy to 12 volt. Starter's no big deal. Alternator's going to be kind of tricky. From what I can tell, a lot of people put it down here where the fuel filters are. So I've got to relocate them wherever. I don't know. AC compressor will be coming out. So that'll open up a ton of room. When that tank comes out, that'll be opening up a ton of room too. The air box is full of holes. I don't think I'm actually going to fix that. I want to do maybe a Cascadia, Freightliner Cascadia type deal, because you can get their rectangular box and it might fit this entire top part right here and leave this bottom bay open. This is obviously where the muffler goes. Muffler's gone. It was rusted out. I've got to figure out what I'm going to do with the exhaust. There's a pipe, so I can't really turn it out and go out the back. But I thought about maybe just doing a 90 where it is and bringing it out right here in this panel. But there's a lot of room underneath there. I still got to clean off this side of the motor. I tell you, it looks horrible, but I don't think it's leaking a tremendous amount. You know, something I wonder is if these trim pieces will come off, or if they have to be there. I think I'm going to try to pull them off. I don't like the look of them. And then put pop rivets where all the screws go. I guess it depends on how they are up here. I'll have to play around with it and see. The water tank, I'll be keeping that for something. I think these buses maybe had rear flaps, but fender flares. I think mine are missing. I kind of like it without it. Never even had this side bay open. I need to get that open and looked at because all that's coming out so I can throw a generator in there. I'd really like to have like an electric start Onan or something, which I don't. I will actually probably put a construction style generator in there for the time being. There's a big steering leak. Well, when I say big, I don't know if it's really a big leak or if it's just that it's been leaking for so long and hasn't been cleaned. I try to keep up on that stuff. Even in a leaky vehicle, if you keep it cleaned up, it's not that bad. The electrical, starting to go through that to get ready to strip all that out. I want to kind of make this look a little bit older. I want to get rid of the plastic, like the black trim across the bumper and stuff here. I know that it's there, obviously, if you hit something or bump something, but I don't really care for it. It'd be real nice to find an old bumper. Something else I got to think about, it's got a ton of little holes like this where it had a sign mounted. You know, how do I need to fill those up? I guess drill them out and pop new rivets in it would be my guess. Not 100% sure how I'm going to fix that. This windshield's cracked. It'll have to be replaced. It desperately needs new window seals. They are hard as a rock. I'd like to switch that around and put the round headlights back on it. I will actually be keeping this roof in here. The insulation in here is great. I had this out in the middle of an open yard and it was, 100 degrees outside and it wasn't totally unbearable in here. As soon as I took out the rear stuff and these front couple sections right here, I bet it raised 15 degrees in here. I'm not going back with the these cab lights up here in the front. I can't think of what that tape's called. It's used for RVs. Hello, Sammy. Hey, good boy. Be careful. And I can't think of what it's called, but it's super duper incredible. Now, I thought about having to tear out this whole floor because I wanted to get the factory harness out of the center channel. I have changed my plans on that. That thing is buried, which wouldn't be that bad, but not only is it buried, it is got the expanding foam in there at several of the intersections down through here. So I'm just going to abandon it, leave it, and roll back with it. Underneath this bin, I've got a rotten spot, and in this back corner, I had a rotten spot. Now, I also need to pull at least 6 or 8 inches from the wall off so I can run back through and run new conduit for my new wires. So I was actually very sad about having to pull this entire floor because it's actually in really good shape except for this section here and the section up in that corner. I'm assuming maybe old leaks because it's been pouring here the last couple days and I haven't seen any. But what I'm going to do, I'm actually going to leave this floor. I will put probably a 1/2 inch fiber board or a 1/2 inch insulation board down and plywood over top of it. 2 layers aren't going to hurt me. It's not going to raise my height too much. And I can still get a little bit of insulation on it. More for noise than anything. The rust back here is horrible. That all goes back to that roof cap that's leaking. I'll get that all resealed from the outside. I tell you, I love these windows. I've got this one that was broken when I got it. I've got this one where the bathroom is that needs replaced. And then I've got one up here that I had open that actually fell. Right there's where my head hit. But I want to get the cab lights done up front so I can put this roof cap, this inner roof cap back up there because I'm getting real tired of it being here And I want to get some insulation back up there, get that back up there, and then I can continue on. Once that is done, I will get this thing pulled around so I can finish pressure washing off the engine, get that cleaned up, then start the 12 volt conversion. Once that's done, I will run through and I guess get back to getting on the inside. I thought about all these switches when I was rewiring it. I was actually going to update all this and do modern rocker switches out of like a semi-truck, Freightliner to be exact, just because I work there. But I think I'm going to keep this panel. I kind of like it. I like the originalness. I don't want to get rid of every bus feature, you know, in this. This is a bus, and I want to kind of keep it like that, or at least some of the stuff. The destination sign's broken, so I will be cutting that off. I like these windshields being fully open. But what I'm going to do, probably drop a board down, I don't know, maybe right about here. And I want to have, you know, have it stick out, I don't know, 6 or 8 inches from the windshield so I can mount speakers, and also to hide a roll down like bamboo thing in the back. Shoot, a blind. I don't know about that though. But like I say, I am going to go ahead and keep at least some of these switches. Obviously, some of them I can get rid of. I don't need the driver's air conditioning or any of that. I am going to keep the driver's defrost up here. I've got to find some way to convert those motors to 12 volt. I'd like to kind of redo that whole heater box. Get something a little bit less rusty, maybe more modern. The gauges, I will be... Ooh, water. I think that window sill's leaking. Leaking for that cab light. But I will fiberglass them from the outside. I just wanted to get something up there to cover the holes. But I think I'm going to actually keep, you know, this dash somewhat. I'd like to do some crazy upgraded dash, but I just don't know how to do it. I want to keep the space open as possible. So if I build this out, you know, 6 or 8 inches, it's going to block the walkway. But then I'm like, well, you know, I need a cup holder. So what I may do is right there above the cruise switches where that vent is, relocate that vent and drill a hole there for a cup holder. I don't know. I could actually build a little box to the left of this seat and house some stuff too. I don't know. I'll get to that. That's kind of last on the list. But like I say, this is kind of the condition that it's in. A couple weeks worth of demo here. I tell you, it's crazy all the little things that you find and that you got to try to keep note of. But all in all, this is going to be awesome when it's done. I can't wait. Thanks for watching, and we'll catch you guys next time.